Welcome to Minutes by Minutes. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we're here to talk about what goes on in the township, the villages, and the various government entities that make laws, regulations, and ordinances that affect you out there.
And whether you live in the village of Oxford, the village of Leonard, Addison Township, Oxford Township, these are the people that you elected. And the committees and commissions that they appoint and the decisions that they make directly affect you, whether you show up or not. And that's why we're here.
And I guess we're going to do this again, huh? That's a yes, I see.
Do it again?
Do it again.
Play
it again, Sam.
Is that like a retake?
Just kind of play it again, Sam.
Okay.
Not the same thing, kind of the same things, but different. You know what I mean?
No, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk about the first meeting. And the first one that we're going to talk about is the North Oakland Transportation Authority.
NOTA.
Yes, right. And there's interesting things that have gone on with NOTA. In the past, they did lose Addison Township, but now Addison Township voters have voted, of course, to resume their bus services, which is a good thing.
Third time is a charm.
Third time is a very good charm. Bill Dunn is the chairperson for this group.
They have a raft of members on that thing, don't they?
Oh, they do. I think there's 8 members. It could be 9 even. 8. A lot of them.
They have to sit so close together, they're really chummy.
Anyway, when they say, hey, yeah, do you agree? No, yes, okay. It takes a while to discuss this, but they do cover a lot of territory. Yeah. Territory? Okay. Anyway, first thing they had to do, of course, is approve the agenda. All those in favor of approving the agenda, it looks good, we'll do this. Yay, it's done. Did I do it 9 times? Probably not.
Yes, well,
okay.
Moving on to bills.
Moving on to bills. Actually, the director's report was one of the things in the lineup, but they did discuss the bills. And
Usually that's the thing at the end,
one of the first
isn't it?
things, but they forgot to put that at the front, I think, at this point. They
or
came
the
back.
Or at the back.
Or the back. And
Right.
they readdressed the subject of bills. Oh, do we have bills? Yeah, I think we do.
Okay.
Okay. And the bills this time was around $27,000.
Okay.
You know.
Any
So,
new equipment?
Any new equipment? No new equipment, but they did talk about some items that the old equipment is having to deal with.
Which means
well, they
new
put
equipment may be on the way.
Right, but they actually I'm thinking Lake George, they did a new parking area for that, and
Did
Bruce
you just say new or nude?
new.
Oh, okay.
New. N-E-W. Get your mind out of the gutter, will you? We're talking about business here. We're talking about what goes on in the community.
just
Try to be a good boy over there, if you will. Okay. I know it's difficult. Anyway.
I know. But you
Anyway.
opened the door.
Well, I don't think I did, but anyway, it is what it is. Bruce Pearson, who's the supervisor of Addison Township, sits on this board as well. And he's been very active in trying to work with the, am I talking about the NOTA group? Yeah, getting the NOTA group, making sure that there's,
Those are your notes.
yeah, there's double, they are, and making sure that there's double, what do they call it? In reinstating it, they have increased their ridership.
Oh.
Okay, that's what I want to say. Increase the ridership. I owe silver. No, that's another subject.
We circled those wagons.
Yes, we did. Okay, so anyway, so they said, is there any public comment out there? No public comment. Nobody wanted to talk. That happens quite often,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
never here, but it does happen.
Just a reminder to you folks, if you do have an issue, go to these meetings and voice your opinion.
Absolutely. They said that they had to, with the Addison Township approval, they had to fill out a form, for government, which is an L4029, I think it is.
In triplicate?
Allows, no, I don't know. It could be in triplicate. I have no idea how many
It's a
copies.
government form. Of course
It
they
is
are.
a government form. Probably goes to everybody. China probably even gets one now. I'm not sure. But
Wouldn't
anyway.
want them left out.
Yeah, might.
Wouldn't want them left out.
Wouldn't want them left out. No. It allows them to tax, Addison Township for the NOTA side of it.
Right.
So it's an L4029. Who'd have thought, huh? Anyway, that's what they had to do, and they needed to approve that form, and so they approved it, and it was all set and ready to go. The director of NOTA is Lynn Gustafson.
Gustafson,
And,
yeah.
Yeah, she does a great job of putting this stuff together. And in her report, she said that we're in dire need of at least one new vehicle
I told you.
now. And
I told you.
right now, yeah, we didn't need it today, but we needed it yesterday. And so she said, we're hustling trying to find one. We did get an estimate from one of the dealerships, which is called My Dealer Company, or My Deal Company, I think is what it was called. And they said that was for roughly in the neighborhood of $32,000, for 2016.
And these vehicles aren't your normal off-the-lot vans or what have you. They have to be specially equipped to handle different situations and handicapped people and what have you.
They do. Now, here's the thing. I'm not at all sure that that one has a lift on it or not, but they said that they checked with another firm that handles this specialty item, and it's
Right.
$45,000 estimate for that.
Just to add it?
Well, to
Or
have
just-
the vehicle equipped, with
Okay.
the lift and everything.
Well, that's what they
that
need.
they need. Yeah. So they said, well, they're looking into that as a possibility of adding it to it. But right now, they're looking at these vans, and these vans, the one I just talked about for $32,000 is an 8-person van, 8-passenger van, not counting the driver, of course.
Right, right.
And at $32,000, she said it would take 18 to 20 weeks to bring this in, though. So it's not anything that
Have you ever done a study as to what the maximum number of people that rides in these vans are?
Well, it depends. Now, if you're in Mexico, you just strap them on the top and hang them out the window. And I think in Italy they might do that too. I'm not sure, but anyway, here they don't. So 8 passengers is a safe way to travel with that van.
Okay, I just
Does that
wondered
answer your question?
No, but you were close.
Okay. Well, that's going to have to work, folks. Take a note if there's any questions. Just
Another
take a note.
note.
Okay, yeah, got it. Okay.
They're stacking up here.
Yeah, they are. Anyway, Len said, the director said that she checked around. She found out that Skelnick Ford has a 2015 that would serve the immediate purpose, but I think it's a 6-person or a 6-passenger van
Be a
rather than 8.
a Transit Connect van or what?
Right, like if you're going to take people to the university, for example.
Right.
Or you're going to take somebody, to the shopping, to do their groceries, something along that line.
Right.
And they don't have to hang off the bus. They go inside the bus.
Or be pulled along on a skateboard or something.
Absolutely. Well, there's a thought. We did talk
Oh,
about
no.
that
Oh, no.
at one point. For Addison Township. But the people saw through that one and they voted to
Oh, no,
go
you
ahead
don't.
and put them on a bus. So
Who
the
made that
skateboard
suggestion?
skateboard thing did not work out. Okay. So anyway, she said we definitely need a vehicle like as soon as possible. And they said, well, can you check on some others as well? And she said, well, this one probably won't last too long, so you might want to decide to do that. So they did appropriate $32,000 for a purchase.
Well, I think all the big three make some form of a similar van. I know the Chrysler has, I forget what they call theirs, ProMasters, and then the Ford has Transit Connect. And
They
I
do.
forgot what the Chevrolet one, I think, is actually manufactured by Nissan, if I'm not mistaken. Anyhow.
Well, they require such things as a windshield, windshield wipers.
Oh, now you're getting picky.
Brakes. They got to have brakes. So they're kind of critical out there, in terms of what they offer. And of course, if they get them with a lift, as you point out, it's going to cost a lot more money,
Right.
with a lift.
Plus, they have to have means of a person who has a wheelchair of securing that wheelchair inside the van.
Right. Your idea last meeting or last session that we had that we just put a hook on the wheelchair and drag them behind, that will not work. So I want you to know that they wouldn't accept that. I did send the information, to NOTA, but they said no.
You put my name on it. It was your suggestion.
With that, we'll be back right after this, folks.
And I'm Bill Service. I'm the producer of our Community Access. For nearly 10 years, Terry and I have been bringing our Community Access into your living rooms to keep you informed about what's happening in our communities.
We've all had great fun at our community events such as Lone Ranger and Strawberry Festivals.
We brought you natural wonders such as bees and ceremonies to bless them.
We've kept you informed of election issues and how your votes affect all of us.
And we've told you about our local artist important fundraisers that help the ones you love.
We've helped you get to know our new business neighbors and much, much more.
But we're not done yet. There's much more we plan to cover. So watch us weekdays on Charter Channel 191 and AT&T Channel 99 at 9:30 at 1, then at 7 o'clock, and Saturday at 9:30.
See you there.
Welcome back to Minutes by Minutes. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we've been talking about the NODA. And I think we've pretty much gone through that one. Let's talk about the next meeting, shall we?
Okay, what do you got?
We got Leonard Planning Commission meeting.
Oh, right.
Oh, that was a riot.
The Village of Leonard.
Yeah, they have a whole new planning commission.
All women, I hear.
All women. And Phyllis Rowe is the chairperson on this planning commission board. And she's trying to, I think, educate everybody on this board. And there are a couple of members who have never ever seen a planning commission meeting, let alone served on a planning commission board.
And now they're in a deep dive.
They are. And the first part of the meeting, they spent a lot of time, just hashing about, the kind of ordinances, requirements there are, for the village of Leonard. And one of the questions was, how do we control the building process here? And Phyllis is called zoning. So she explained, how the zoning worked.
Shouldn't there be a set of instructions like in ISO 9000?
Yeah, she did point out that there's a set of ordinances which each person should get a copy of, the variances and so forth and ordinances from the office, which is located upstairs of where their meeting room is at.
But what I'm saying is that shouldn't there be a document that basically says how the normal business of the meeting is conducted?
Yeah, it's called Robert's Rules
Well, that's pretty generic.
and a meeting, and that's usually what they follow as a rule. So
Right.
if they're not familiar with Robert's Rules, they should be, because it makes it run a lot smoother.
What meeting have you ever been to that strictly followed Robert's Rules of Order?
There aren't any that really follow it strictly. That word "strict" in there is,
Oh, there you go.
but that's the humor we talk about.
Right.
Actually, Robert's Rules.
Well, we kind of dance around it a little bit, and there's fuzzy parts.
Yeah, little fuzzy darts. Anyway, Robert's Rules, when you look at the humor, it's embedded in there. You just have to extract it. Okay.
What he's saying is Robert's is spinning in his grave.
Yeah. But I got to say that if you watch any of the Planning Commission meetings, let's say from Addison Township Planning Commission, the Township of Oxford, and of course the village too, they're really conducted, I think, quite well for the
Right.
amount of information they have to handle and the knowledge that they have to make these decisions. It's not a matter of just coming in and somebody coming before you and wanting something with a site plan. You want to make sure that you know what a site plan is and how to read a site plan. You need to have some background in terms of construction. You definitely have to have a grasp of the ordinances. Isn't that right?
Yeah, what I said.
Pretty much what you said. It was embedded in there.
Right.
It was
A set of instructions.
set of instructions, yes. So anyway, one of the main conversations that they had at this Planning Commission meeting was master plan. Where are we on the master plan? Well, we've hired a gentleman. His name is Rand Barnes,
Who shall be called a planner.
who shall be called a planner, and he's actually going to work with a master plan because it's out of date. The last time it was updated was about 2008, and according to law, state law, they have to update every 5 years. Okay, so they're beyond that point.
And even though Leonard is a sleepy little town, things
Right.
have changed.
Right. So one of the new members said, "Well, how did it get in such disarray? How come we didn't, fix this a while back?" And of course, the point was there's a lot of history involved with this.
Is that when everyone looked at their shoes? I don't know.
They actually had a consultant once, you know that.
Oh, did they?
To do this.
And what happened to him?
Well, they figured he was getting paid too much. But
They
8
rode
years.
him out of town?
Yeah. No, they actually discontinued the agreement or what they were going to do with him, and they decided, well, we're going to do it ourselves.
And
8 years later, I don't think we can do it ourselves. So they're going to bring in this guy, and he's working on it. And as the chairperson pointed out, Phyllis, that it will be coming soon, and we'll look at it. But that once we get it, we look at the new master plan, it's not up to us, you know, to make this law or regulation or, you know, the approach that we're going to take. It's going to be up to Leonard Council to do this.
But it's
So-
the planning, even though
You need a stamp.
the planner presents it to them, they may also have suggestions as how some changes might be made.
Yep, and they could-
before they send it to the council.
And they could send it back to the Planning Commission again.
And
The
so
council
it
could.
goes.
Back and forth, minute by minute. It
Kind of like a
does.
tennis game.
It does, yeah, right, okay. So anyway, so they did beat that one up pretty bad. And, excuse me, one of the new commissioners, who remains nameless due to safety requirements, said, you know, there's a house next door to me and somebody is remodeling it. And I noticed that they changed the main entry door and they're moving it to another location.
Was that on the agenda?
No, it was comments, public comments at
Oh,
the end, or
okay.
what they call commissioner comments.
Oh, okay.
And she said, I want to know if they need a permit to do this, because I don't see a permit anywhere. And the answer to that, by the way, is yes.
Okay.
If it's a structural change, they have to, you know.
Was that the answer they had, or was that your answer?
No, their answer was, we think that they need a permit, but we're going to check into it and find out, you know,
So
if they
that-
do or not.
That,
And she said,
that very assertive yes was you.
no, I wasn't there.
Oh.
But I just know that in talking to Addison Township that is the
Okay.
approach. That if you change any of the interior walls, that kind of thing, you knock a wall out, you need a permit to do that. If you change an exterior wall, because there might be structural requirements. Let me see,
Right,
take this
right.
door out and all of a sudden the roof collapsed, you know, on the one end. Anyhow, it does require a permit, and I'm sure they will find that out too for sure. In which case, you know, this person will have to be approached. And by the way, this person said, the chairperson, or this commissioner said, and by the way, the person that's doing this remodeling sits on the village council.
Do you think it'll get approved?
I don't know how this one's going to work out, but it seems like, you know, if you're on the village council, that you would know that you need a permit, and you'd pull a permit.
Only if the planning commission tells them.
Or if the planning commission I got a feeling they're going to tell them. What do you think? But
think
anyway,
so.
so the chairperson, Phyllis Rowe, she said, well, here's what we'll do. We'll get our enforcer over there and have him check it out.
They have an enforcer?
They do. They have a inspector that'll come in
Oh, okay.
and check it out. He's an enforcer. He carries this big club.
Name is not Nitty, is it?
No, it's not. But she said that's the first step. We need to have him stop in and check it out.
Okay.
And so she's right. I mean, that's the direction they need to take on this. So it's amazing, you know, these things that happen, you know, in small villages.
Yeah, well.
Actually, there's a lot of people that, you know, they remodel houses in the midst of dark because they don't want anybody to know that they're doing it. All of a sudden, you got a deck on the back of your house. How'd that deck get there? I don't know.
You know what they call that, don't you? A
What?
fait accompli.
Is that what it is?
Oh, I don't know where it came from.
Right.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. An act of God. It just showed up. I don't have any
Or
idea.
That's an act of Bob.
Act of Bob. And by the way, the neighbor has a deck that's missing.
Oh, that's even worse.
Even worse, yes. They said that there's a couple of issues in town that people should know about, and that they don't allow what do they call them? Windmills in town. You know, these big windmills?
Oh, within the village
Within the
limits.
village, yep, not allowed. And I'm not at all sure if that isn't addressed also in the township. You know, they may have restrictions for it as
Where
well.
did they come up with that? Was that always an ordinance that they had in town, or when all of these wind farms started being developed
No.
that they put that into effect?
Yes. That's when it came into effect.
Oh,
Okay. And they said,
always look for a definitive answer.
right. And they said also that the village, let me see, wood burners, they're not allowed in town. In other words,
Wood
they don't want
burners?
stacks of wood. You've seen these wood burners where you
Well, there's
feed
wood
them on the
burning.
outside?
Well, there's wood burning. There's two kinds of
For
wood burning
furnace.
stove where you chunk in part of your cord of wood and it burns. Are you sure?
Yep, I'm positive. And Leonard, you cannot have a wood burning contraption outside the house that's heating your house. Outside.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, what'd you do, put one in?
No.
Okay, we'll get back to this one when we come back right after this.
I'm Oakland County Sheriff Mike Bouchard and former Red Wing great Joey Koster reminding you to follow the rules regarding boater safety. Always operate at safe speeds, Avoid alcohol and wear a life jacket. Don't let a great day on the water be ruined by bad decisions.
This is OCTV, Oxford Community Television, serving Oxford and Addison Townships with the best in local programming. On Charter Channel 191, AT&T UVerse Channel 99, and our website, OCCTV.org. OCTV, we provide local programming that brings you closer to home.
Back minutes by minutes, I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we've been talking about the Leonard Planning Commission over there, and we pretty much beat that one to death.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're new on the job, but here's the thing. They volunteered.
They're quick studies, though.
They are. They'll learn in a hurry, because that feeling they have is the flames behind them.
Well,
They have to make a serious decision. They have to make a right decision in order to do that. But there's a lot of people that are willing to assist them too. But you got to hand it to them. You know, they raise their hand when they need volunteers, so they're in there. Pollyant Trail, or management. Yeah, Pollyant Trail Management Council, chaired by Mike McDonald. He's from Leonard. He's what is he? President?
He's the chairman.
President of the.
Chairman of the Board of Trustees.
Yeah, that's what he is. Okay, nice guy.
Yep.
He does a great job too of handling this meeting, by the way. They said, let's cover the bills. He gets right to it. And the bills were $1,867.74.
Actually, that's true. He's the president of the council, not the Board of Trustees.
See, I was right again.
Well, every now and then.
Okay.
Monkeys and typewriters.
You're going to give me one, right? Okay. Anyway, that being said, let's go on with this. The Pollyant Trail. Let me see. I'm trying to think. Patrick Ball is the manager.
Right.
And hey, boy, I tell you what, this guy, he really checks out this trail. He's received, information about railings that need to be replaced on bridges and that kind of thing, and he's looked into them. He goes to each particular segment of what he needs to deal with.
He has many miles of trail to look at, too.
There are, yeah. I think he's got one of these old vehicles that, four-wheelers or whatever they are.
As far as I know right now, there's other extensions to the trail, but the active part of that trail goes all the way from Leonard through Oxford and ends up on Indianwood Road in Lake Orion.
It does. And they're actually, on Indianwood Road, they're thinking about putting some parking in that area.
Yeah.
And so they got to bring in some gravel or whatever they need to do to build it. But according to Mr. Ball, they haven't really done anything in that area. But Bruce Pearson, being from Addison Township, was dealing with the Lake George parking space that was required off the trail. And he actually, they contacted the American Aggregate, and they donated 15 tons of
Gravel.
Thank you. I was going to say stone, but gravel. Gravel is stone. Crushed up a little stone. Okay. Anyway.
They might have a rock or two at their disposal.
Right. They could do that. Excuse me. And there were lots of volunteers also that came in with equipment to help grade it and pack it down and this kind of thing. And they said, well, how much did it cost to do this? And he said $691, including what I threw in for certain materials I needed, and they'll reimburse Bruce for that, of course, but only $691.84. And they said, well, that's great. That's fantastic, Bruce, because we have a budget for that for $2,000. You saved, a lot of money by doing this. And Bruce, guess what he said? Oh, shucks.
Bruce gets things done.
He does, yes. Okay. And that's why
They call him the magician.
That's why he's got all these people that are willing to pitch in too, because
Right.
he's right up front. He
Yep.
leads the charge.
Yep.
So good thing. Anyway,
Follow me over the hill.
you follow me over the hill. They also put in a cement slab, I guess, on a project that they have in Lake Orion, off their trail. Enbridge Water. They have a water problem with a.
Enbridge?
Yeah, Enbridge. You know where they ran the pipeline through there?
Yeah,
Addison
they also do
Township, so-
water?
Well, no, but they do water now because around the pipeline, water accumulates.
Oh.
So, and it has a tendency to wash over the path, over the trail. So they've actually talked to Enbridge, and Enbridge says, well, they'll take care of it. And I think pictures were even taken, of what Enbridge is doing to correct the problem, and apparently they're, taking the effort. So
Well, they're
anyway,
trying to be good citizens. I know that they've taken up a lot of land putting in that pipeline. And if you've looked at how they've reclaimed the land, sometimes they've done a really good job.
they have, yep. And the thing is, it takes people watching over it, like, Patrick Ball, you know, that's making sure that everything is up to par. And the water issue is one that he feels will be resolved by them. So anyway, he said also there's grass mowing situations here and there. He said one of them is next to the bridge, you know, in Oxford.
Right.
There's kind of a gap where grass grows, and he says the people that we've hired to do this take care of everything, but it's pretty hard for them to reach down that far, you know, to get the grass. So we need something to kill the vegetation down there.
Weed whackers can't get to it?
Weed whackers can't get to it. You have to be a really skinny weed whacker to get in there, because between the fence and I guess you know, the embankment, the abutment, you know, where the bridge is
So
established. So
they're
anyway,
they're using the last Roundup.
right. Anyway, so Mike McDonald, the chairperson, says, well, we don't really have the funds for that, nor did we put it in the contract. Maybe we can work out something.
Anybody got any Roundup, you know, sitting around their garage?
That's exactly what he said. Roundup will probably take care of it, but he wanted to investigate a little further on and take care of the issue. Right. So anyway, they've done a great job, and I think Pat Ball shows a lot of initiative,
Yeah.
and has taken care of a lot of issues. Let me see. I want to say there's a new Chamber of Commerce director. Did you know that?
That was a nice segue, folks. He's into the Chamber of Commerce.
Jumped right in there, didn't I? Well, did you know there was? You didn't answer my question.
Yes, I did.
Oh, do you know who that person is?
Nicole?
Nicole. Yeah, Stirrett.
We're on a first name basis.
Oh, I see.
Stirrett.
I see.
Stirrett is
Does
her
her
last
husband know that?
No.
Does
So
your
Stirrett.
wife know that?
No. But Nicole Stirrett.
Yes.
Okay.
And I was privy to meet her, and she has she's an individual who's volunteered for a lot of things for the school system in this area, and also other charitable organizations. So she's a well-known name, you know, and a self-starter, a doer.
A doer.
A doer.
Good.
And that was the question. Are you a doer? So anyway, so she is definitely a doer, and I think the Chamber of Commerce is pretty happy to have her. They did interview, I think there were 8 applicants, 8 or 12.
There was a lot.
Yeah, there's, I think 12, started with 12, ended up with 8. Then there were the top 3 that were,
Right.
you know, selected. And of course, she came out of the smoke blazing, so she was all set.
Good.
So glad to have you out there, Nicole. July 18th, don't forget that the Leonard Strawberry Festival is coming up. I want to mention that.
The Strawberry
And
Festival.
Yep, the parade and all that good stuff
And
is going
when's
to be coming up.
the Seymour Lake celebration?
Seymour Lake, you know what? That is coming up next month. Do you know?
That's, I think it's next week, isn't it? Not next week, but the week after.
July, I want to say 14th.
Yeah,
I'm not
something
sure.
like that. But it's a 3-day celebration,
Yeah.
folks. And there's no fireworks on the first day, but on the
Yeah.
second and third day.
Yeah, if you watch the program on OCTV called Calendar of Events, it'll be on there.
I heard
I'm
this
sure.
guy, it looks just like you, is on that.
It does. But, you know, between sets, my memory goes blank. So there we go. And we have a Lone Ranger thing coming up too, and I just want to mention that
Oh,
because
yeah,
that's
in August, isn't it?
August 1st. Yep,
Okay.
on Saturday, and you're going to be there, I think.
I hope
Right?
to be there.
One other meeting that came up, and that was the Communications Commission meeting that we had.
Oxford Area
Oxford
Cable
area,
Communications
yep,
meeting.
and you were there.
I was there. You were there.
A lot of people were there. And the first thing he did is cover the bills, and $38,000 in bills, and it was approved.
That seems like a lot, but that
Justifiable.
represents a missed meeting back in May, I believe.
And you're the guy that controls all those little numbers, so.
Yeah.
And they have a rope there. That okay. That being said, that's about what we want to cover on the Communications Commission. We'll do more in the future.
Okay,
What
right.
do we got coming up?
Well, we do have some meetings coming up, even though it's the end of June. On 6/29 at 5:45, there is a special meeting
Yeah.
of the Addison Township Board. And of course, they're still meeting at the new location, or the temporary location of the fire station that's right next to the administration building. And on 7/4, have a great 4th of July weekend, which starts on 7/3, by the way. And on 7/6, at 7:30, Addison Township Park Committee, and also at 7 o'clock, the Village of Oxford Zoning Board of Appeals. And on 7/7, at 7 o'clock, the Village of Oxford Planning Commission.
Yes.
And that's all I got.
And this is Minutes by Minutes. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kinney.
We'll catch you next time right here.
See you then.